Here we are, 100% human made. No AI in this podcast.
You know that Mind Pump posts it like that.
Yeah.
100% human made on it.
Human
and that
made,
was a
human
while ago
fresh.
that they switched that because they're like, that's going to start to become a thing.
Yeah, probably. Well, I mean, there is that AI podcast, kind of. It's like run by AI, but it's still two real people, I guess.
Sure.
It just like prompts them to do stuff. AI lied to me again.
Why?
We were doing a little trivia game in class, and I did like who won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. And
In class?
yeah.
And they're like, I don't care.
No, they were into it. And then somebody guessed it right, and it was the Chiefs. And somebody's like, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Like, look it up. So I looked it up, and
You obviously knew who it was.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And
They just, of course, did not believe you.
no. And it said the wrong team. Like, completely just said the wrong team. And I was like, what?
Did you go into, you just Googled it?
Yeah, and then like the top
The AI
part of it,
search one.
Yeah. It was saying the Eagles won.
What?
Like, well, no, they didn't. They were in the Super Bowl, but they did not win. So then I like looked it up on, just basically like went to a website or a different website like ESPN or whatever. And it was like, no, it's clearly the Chiefs. And like Wikipedia says the Chiefs, like everything else says the Chiefs. And I was like,
So weird. We're going to have so many more of those Mandela effects. Because someone's going to look it up and be like, no, I swear, like I looked it up and that's what it said.
Yeah. Yeah, it said the Philadelphia Eagles
So
won.
weird.
And it's not like it was saying, it said in 2023, the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl, whatever.
And I know people say like it's all on how you prompt your question, but how could you prompt that any different?
Yeah. I literally said, who won the Super Bowl 2 years ago? And then I was like, well, maybe it thinks 2 years ago is this time, whatever. And I'm like, no, 2023. Like, it's very clear.
Weird.
It's a liar. It's a complete liar.
I don't want to make it sound like I'm copying you because it's going to definitely seem like that because the timeline is very fishy. But I think I'm going to start wearing watches. Like these, like more jewelry looking ones. They don't tick. Like I'm not going to have it work, but just for the aesthetic, like the jewelry part of it. But I do have a question because Sophia brought it up. I don't think you can do it with this watch. She said you can make it tighter.
Yeah,
but
probably.
I think because I know with hers they were like she said she took a bar out.
They were like, what? Oh, okay.
For the audio listeners, I'm going along the band. Mm. But hers were like bars that she could take out.
Yeah, that's probably that.
Okay.
Those chain links, yeah.
Okay.
Those are individual links, most likely.
I don't know if I want it that much tighter, but I'm thinking like one of these is half like a centimeter size. So I feel like even if I took it out a little bit, it might be a little bit tighter.
That would drive me nuts at that loose.
Well, that's what she said. She took it out so that, but this, like she showed me this where it was like not moving. This I think would drive me nuts.
Well, yeah, you can't have it too tight.
Like to where this, I don't know, is maybe a little extra, but
it's a little loose.
Having it too tight, like hers like was not moving on her wrist. Like that would feel suffocating. It's kind of like how the rings feel on my fingers. Like I need to be able to just like move them and adjust them around to where if that was, I think that would bother me. But I didn't know if you could.
Yeah, probably. It looks like you can.
Okay.
Those are simple to do.
Okay. I have a couple. The other one is, they're fine, but I just kind of like how they look. I think I like things on my wrist.
Oh.
I think it looks cool.
Yeah.
Don't tell me otherwise. Because I'm convinced.
Goes really well with the jersey.
That I didn't know was in our closet.
You got two
completely different. You realize what a present
vibes.
that was? So I have switched because I'm a fan of the coach. I follow Belichick wherever he goes. And then to realize I was putting laundry away and I was putting away the sweatshirt, so it was kind of in the back of the closet. And I saw just the little like blue sleeve popping out. And I'm like, that's curious. What is that? Because I knew you had the Bears one back there. And I knew you had your high school ones back there. But I'm like, what is that blue one? That looks, that looks like the blue that I was looking for. And I peeked and I saw the logo. I was like, this has been just sitting in here? I could have been repping this whole time.
I don't ever wear jerseys, so those are just tucked back in there.
I'm going to make, which I won't wear it too much because I know you guys trade them around.
That one probably not, no.
Okay, because I think I'm going to make them cool. Like, I want to wear this to, like, teach.
Sure.
Like, I feel like it will look cool.
It's from Goodwill, so it's not like it's a brand new, authentic, don't
that if I
ruin
sweat in it, it's like,
yeah,
I'm the worst.
You'll be fine.
Okay.
And I don't plan on trading that person anyway for a long time, so.
Okay. Yeah, I want to wear it this weekend in Chicago. Like, I want to wear it to teach.
Yeah.
I feel like it would look cool. That's also very much the style. I feel like the hip-hop style.
Yeah.
I'm just all
You could wear the Bears one, too. Chicago.
See, that seems like it would cause too much discussion that I'm not ready for. Like,
that's
that would
going to cause more discussion than the Bears one.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why?
The Bears one's going to fit in. That one's going to be like, why are you wearing a North Carolina jersey?
But I feel like in Chicago, because it's there, I'm either going to get people that are like, ooh, I don't like them, or they're going to want to talk about it. To where this is like, why is she wearing that? But I don't really need to ask.
They're still going to ask.
Way less than the Bears one, though.
Maybe. I mean,
and I have no, like, interest affiliation with the Bears. I'd be like, I don't know, this was just my closet. That's what I'd have to say.
I would just say, like, I would wear the Bears one and just say, no, I got it for Goodwill for this.
Yeah, and they'd be like, that's weird. Why would you?
To
or at least with this,
represent.
I can explain. Represent what? Something I don't, a team that I have no.
I'm in Chicago. I wanted to.
Rep you guys.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, we hate them, so.
No.
Screw you. Should we start with my video?
Sure.
Okay, I've never pulled it up on here. Okay, so backstory. It's this dad that the daughter just started filming and like putting clips together of just stuff my dad says. And since then, he's gotten a lot of recognition from it. And with that, he's like, he was invited to the Super Bowl. He has been brought to games, like flown out to certain things just because he's hilarious.
Honest. Look it up. Is this chair free? Because I still wouldn't take it.
You've never had a vision again?
No.
Are you communist?
My neck hurts, and it's not even warbler season yet. I'm gonna get something really healthy. And by healthy, I mean a healthy amount of chocolate.
Really hard to keep a straight line when you're jamming a sexy back. You ready?
I could definitely land this if something happens to the pilots.
Tastes like someone screwed up.
59, I still haven't figured out how to eat pasta. Do you stab them? Do you scoop them?
Don't go. Did you get to a young jaw with an explode? Drizzlicious. That was my nickname in high school. I like soft buns.
Bring me a shrubbery.
Evaporated milk. So is the can empty?
Having my second bag of almonds.
What if the plane goes down and we go down with a bag of uneaten almonds?
I can't see my face when I shovel, but I like it.
Pumpkin spice. Which one was that? Was that Victoria Beckham?
I gotta make plays while I'm walking. I can't just walk.
Excuse me, ma'am. Just curious, you dropping a deuce?
Sorry, this lane closed. If they're that sorry, open it. 13-0 Dolphins after I switched the pants. That's stupid. No, it's not. $500.
Well, it's normally 600.
No, it's not. It's abnormally 600.
I don't know the word. The kid is on fire.
You're not a kid.
I'm a kid at heart.
Are you questionable for today?
I'm always probable.
Heavyweight forks. Mike Tyson uses those. Milk from Irish grass-fed cows. The cows are Irish?
Well.
I laugh. I watched it again this morning in my headphones. I was cracking up. You don't find this amusing at all.
It's silly.
It's so funny. I think it's hilarious.
I'm glad that we are giving you the opportunity to show what you find funny on this podcast.
And his Instagram handle is kickballdad. So if you want more joy in your life, pop over to that.
I'm sure so many people watching are going to.
I'm sure they already know who
Love
he
it.
is. Yeah, he's gotten big because his daughter's been posting about him. I think it's hilarious.
It's a good time. They're having fun.
Yeah.
Are you having fun?
With what?
With life. Let's get deep.
Yeah.
And not convincing.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Well, because I'm trying to think, like, fun. Maybe
oh, yeah,
not.
Fun is not in your vocabulary.
Well, no, not that it's not like I'm not having fun. I just don't want to sound cheesy because like we're working a lot right now, and that is fun to me. Like the more fast-paced schedule, and we're traveling constantly right now. Like that is.
I like to make a toast.
That is fun. Okay, how about in the show that we're watching where she's like, before we go up to the room, let's sit down and make a toast. And she goes, to us.
Yeah.
That's it. You had to
So
sit back
worthless.
down for that. Not worth it. But yeah, I'm enjoying the intensity that life is right now, and I always like this time. I like going. There's a lot of snip snap. I like when there's a lot of stuff going on. But I'm looking forward to summer too, and for it to be just like a new switch of pace. I think that's a positive in the jobs that I do. Is like it's not something for very long.
You like the rush.
Yeah.
You want to feel alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the opposite.
No, you're not.
I don't want to rush. I want to take my time.
Yes and no, but no. Like
Don't act like you know me.
because are these rolling? I don't know why I just had a weird
I could check, but
scare that the cameras are not on.
audio only podcast.
Not that I'm about to say anything so worthy of like this needs to be caught on camera.
Are these rolling? Where's my camera?
But no, 100% that's not how you are. You think you are. You think you are that way. You think you are. I like to be slow moving, nothing going on. I'm a homebody. I don't like to do anything. And then you want to uproot our whole life because you are secretly bored and you won't acknowledge it.
Well, those are two different things. And we both
No,
know that.
it's not. No,
Sounds
it's not.
like you've got.
You figure it
Sounds
out.
like you're angry at me. I don't want to uproot. I want to stay right here.
Yeah,
I'm good right now today.
today.
We'll see about tomorrow. It's a
Yeah,
new day.
exactly.
Maybe the
I am
sun
at least
won't be shining as much, and
No, I'm not saying moving or anything like that. It's just
Also-
you want a crazy life change all the time.
what does this have to do with?
How loud I'm speaking.
Well,
Because I'm realizing that. After I said it last thing, I was like, it's going to be
No.
brought up. So I'm just going to beat him to the punch and bring it up myself.
wasn't gonna say that.
to myself,
but
hey, why are you screaming? I'm right here.
what does this have to do with? Are you having fun? All of a sudden, me asking, "Are you having fun?" turns into insulting me about wanting to move,
Because
and I don't even want to move.
I said my statement. I said what's going on. And then you said, yeah, not for me. And I want to go, but it is for you. You just don't acknowledge it in the same way.
I kind of like how tall this water bottle is because it somewhat blocks my vision.
Then it's like the show where half the screen is blurry.
If only it could be like that. Let's talk about this show.
Let's talk about how if you look at something with one eye and then you switch it to the other, if one of them is out of focus, that's your dominant eye. To the show.
There you go. I don't think that was enough information for people to know what to learn anything.
If you look
but
at something like this and then if you look at something like this.
if you close one eye, it's not your dominant eye. If you close the other one, it's your dominant eye. Good. But I'm done with it. Yeah.
Really?
After the last episode, it's like, who cares?
Oh,
It's a terrible
see,
show.
oh, that's interesting. I'm having the opposite.
You do 6 episodes of this lead up, and then you basically go like, nope, just kidding. Well, what was the point of the show?
Well,
You
no, it's
basically
just the original thought or what they thought was happening wasn't happening. But it's still like about her losing. So we're talking about the movie. We're talking about Surface, right?
Yeah.
So basically, the show was about this girl that she jumps off of a ferry and loses all of her
Not a flying mythical.
long-term memory. And then it's about like her just like putting puzzle pieces together about what happened before and whatever. And of course she doesn't believe that she jumped off. She believes something happened. And then this police officer comes into the picture that I'm not giving anything away. This is in the first like episode. They talk about this. She was having an affair with this police officer that is on her case because he also thinks that the husband was like doing something malicious behind the scenes. And then as the show is unraveling, it's like she's figuring out more and more and more. But it's really just like there's just it was just stuff was wrong.
It was just pointless to watch the entire thing.
I don't know. After last night's episode, I'm like, okay, I can see how this might play out longer than a season then.
I think it was worthless to make the show. You basically spelled out the show in the first episode, and then...
But then it was all wrong.
Yeah.
And now they're like, okay, so now what is it?
No, now it's like, well, what you thought it was the whole time. Or what they were portraying it was the whole time. It's like the story she was told in the beginning is the truth. So what was the whole point?
But it's
like
not
you read
really.
the first page of the book of like, there was a war and this happened. Okay, cool. End of story.
But it's not really, because it's not what they had described in the beginning. Like, it's not like
to you.
I mean, I guess, but it was more she was being malicious.
Yeah, which, okay.
Yeah.
Which that's the other thing. If you have a show that they basically can wrap up the entire thing in an episode, that's not in depth enough. So they just did, I think it was 5 episodes of this lead up, and then the 6th episode they basically tell you everything that's going on. So what? It's like, did you run out of money or time? You don't like prolong this out of it unraveling the other way? You just go like, JK, here's the whole story.
Oh, I don't know.
Convincing you.
No. Well,
I'm changing your mind.
No, because I still want to see what are they going to do now. Like, I'm still into it. I just still think from the jump, the actors, they're so. And it could be maybe they're good in other stuff, but I also it seems like this is all of their first big thing together. So it's like no one's really like pushing the story that great. Like they're all like, oh, this is kind of... No one in the show makes me want to watch it. It's the story a little bit, but no character I'm invested in.
Yeah, the story was interesting, but now it's not. And there's 2 seasons of this.
Yeah.
Get out of town.
We are watching 12 shows right now.
I know, because all these fucking shows come out 1 episode at a time. Drives me nuts.
So, Reacher I like.
Yeah, Reacher's a good time.
Which one is your favorite season, though? That's okay.
Out
So
of
then
Reacher?
talk about that. Is there another show that's like that where every season is like same character but completely different stories?
I probably, but I can't think of any.
Because I really like that. I like that he's the same and he's consistent, and there's like a through line with all the series. He doesn't change, but where he lives brings a different storyline with it, brings a whole different cast.
Yeah.
That is kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to suspend belief a little bit with that show, but it's still a good time.
I can't really think of even what the first one was.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think on the spot.
I like that show. The White Lotus.
I'm so over that show. Every single season that comes out, you want to watch it, and I do it for you.
You know what I do like about it, though? The soundtrack. Like, I like the music that they put in. It makes it mysterious and, like, that there's something weird happening, which I think is so cool when they can do that with music, when they can make you feel something different based on what the song is. It's like, nothing about what's happening is showing mysterious. But now I'm hearing the music, I'm like, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
And it's kind of a quirky soundtrack.
Let's bring this up. How we're watching the first episode, I'm like, God, that guy looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
You called it immediately, and also he doesn't look anything like him, so that's
you
even
were
crazier.
like, what? No, I don't see it. I'm like, yeah, he does. And I looked it up. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger's son.
I don't see it.
God,
I
I'm
don't
good.
see it. His face seems too thin.
It's a little more narrow, probably, but it's the mouth and the smile and the eyes.
What?
Well,
I'm not getting it at all.
people are gonna think I'm in love with him.
I wonder what who the mom is.
She's been in some stuff. I can't remember what. Her character's terrible. There's some characters in that show that is pretty good, and then there's others that's like, what the heck? Like, her accent is just not believable at all in it. And her whole... I like shows that personalities are realistic. And it's like, this person's so... I don't know. I guess...
The mom in that?
I guess that's what TV shows are, or movies. It's taking certain personality traits and exploding them a little bit of an explosion, because that's a thing. It's making them a little bit bigger than what they actually are, because then it's more compelling. If they were just normal people, the shows wouldn't be interesting. So I shouldn't say that I don't like that, because every show would be boring then. But hers is just so... It's too much.
Okay, so the mom, I can see it more in the son.
Oh, you're talking about the mom of the kid?
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally Arnold.
That looks, I think it looks more like her, but
Look at his eyes.
daughter, of course you're going to be like, this is, now I'm kind of looking at it, it's just like a female version of the brother. But I'm like, this kind of looks more like Arnold, though, this one. You're right.
No.
But they also look identical.
I mean, it looks... Yeah, I don't know where your eyes are.
I just have not... Let's look at them together.
Your eyes are your own, and they're just not seeing it.
I don't know. I'm not really...
Well, the facts are there. It's his kid, so...
No,
my
I
God,
know.
you literally pulled up a picture where it's twins. I don't know. They look exactly alike. That's hilarious. I can't wait to put pictures
I don't
at this
know.
part and everybody to laugh at you. Ha ha ha.
I'm just not seeing it.
You
I'm
want to
not
bring your
seeing it.
mic down a little bit? Your nose is... Nobody can see your
I'm just not seeing it.
luscious lips.
That needs chapstick.
Yeah, the shows nowadays, they're just not what they used to be. I'm ready to go back and watch movies. Reacher and 1923. I'll keep watching. And I'll keep watching the other two because you want to watch them. But
See, that's why I'm watching
can't wait for them to
1923.
be
That is
over.
not intriguing me. I think the son, once he gets back into the picture with his wife, those characters, that combo I liked.
Sure. Well, I like because it's the build-up. There's a build-up happening, so there's the intensity. They really went with the whole, like, animals being a thing in this one, which was interesting. But
Yeah. To where in, like, regular Yellowstone, maybe it's just, it was
Predators,
more
no.
populated later, so it's not like lions are coming in your...
I think they're really trying to make
living room?
winter be scary, which I'd like to know where this was shot, because I had just said this, like, I think when we were in Wisconsin with your dad, I was like, you notice how they never shoot in the winter in Montana?
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, this new season comes out and it's like all in the winter. So I wonder if they actually shoot it in Montana or if it's somewhere else. But
Because do they get a lot of snow in Montana?
oh yeah,
In, like, all parts?
I think so. It's as north as you can get until you're in Canada, Montana. One of those states that borders Canada. What a
Not
life
here.
that would be.
Not here.
Not here. It was 59 degrees out this morning. We were sweatshirt, sweatpants.
Yeah. I know. I'm excited for summer weather. To where you walk out and you're immediately like, I'm sweating.
Yeah, that's a little too much, but
I'd rather have that.
It seems colder than it's been. Everybody loves talking about weather.
Yeah.
So,
Especially when people are listening and they're in winter still in their state.
Yeah, I mean, how many people are
It's 50 degrees here.
in Florida?
56. Like, shut up.
I saw Andy Galpin put out a clip about kids working out.
Interesting.
And he said that we basically have known for a very long time that it's a complete myth that it stunts your growth and there should be any sort of worry about kids.
Really?
Resistance training, yeah. Which is kind of interesting because even when I was growing up, like that was something that was kind of worried or talked about.
That's what a kid in our grade used to say all the time.
It'll stunt your growth.
Yeah. Or like, you're 16. You just don't want to do it.
Yeah, exactly. You're just lazy. You don't want to work out. But I thought it was interesting. You know, he's somebody that I think is smart and trust and has a ton of experience of training athletes and
That's cool.
scientists and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, he said we've actually known for a really long time that that's not true. That's not real. So I'd like to go look up and see, I don't know, be able to bring back more data or anything on that of like what, and the positives. Like you wonder what positives it is for kids working out and exercising cognitively and obviously physically, but what kind of like weird studies have there been done of like people working out when they're young and then maybe when they get older they're this much more, you know, Alzheimer's is down by 20% or
sure.
something crazy. It's always like a huge blanket thing of like there's all these health benefits, but it'd be cool to see what those things are.
You would think they would also have the ability to maintain muscle mass easier. You would think that those fibers are, because they're developing while they're developing, if they hold on to those better. Because you think of like kids in gymnastics, you start that so young, and the ones that stay in it and stick with it, you can always kind of tell when they're older, they don't look like everyone. Like they still can maintain muscle pretty easy. They don't really put on weight that much. Like they kind of keep that frame. Like I think like that in soccer players, people that played soccer at a higher level, like their muscle density has to be crazy. Like gymnasts, like you're flipping in the air. Like you can't necessarily even do that sport without gaining the muscle.
Yeah. Well, I think that's something that we know, like when you build up muscle fibers, you keep them. So there's an importance to build it when you're younger so that you have them throughout your whole life. And then, you know, if you ever to fall off or not be working out consistently, you come back to it and you already have those muscle fibers there and you can really get back into shape and get your strength back fairly quickly compared to, like, it's easier to gain strength if you had already done it before compared to you're starting off brand new and have to try to do it again.
What a cool outlet for kids that maybe aren't really interested in sports to still give them something to be active and interested in.
Yeah, totally.
Like after this, like going to train some boys, it's like, and one of them, the way that he is interested in it is, and like genuinely interested in it, is so cool for not only is his age, but I haven't seen a kid be that interested and passionate about something in so long, and like truly like to every, I don't know, like I think when I was a kid, at least with it, it's like I wanted every ounce of information about it, that it's not just, well, what can I do to be good? It's like I want to know the nitty gritty of this and like how it works. That is like the birth of something that could last his entire life because of how interested he is in it now. That's like, if you can feed them that information and then give them an outlet to be able to do that. This is a kid that doesn't really seem like he's going to be that into football or like school sports that is a part of a team. Like that just doesn't really seem like that's interested him yet. That, and it may never, that this would still give him something to be active.
Yeah. Well, and I think as you start, the younger you start it, the more it becomes into their regular life. You don't have another 35-year-old going like, man, I'm really starting to get out of shape and I got to pick up this thing that I've never done before. I think that's why sports ends up being so helpful and important to people, is they have experienced some sort of activity and had that in their regular life that they know they need to, they have an experience of it so they can try to go back into that, like, oh, I need to train for something or I need to do something about it. For a lot of people, they don't ever have that, and they just all of a sudden now it's 35 and they got to pick up something new. That can be challenging. And like you said, especially when it's people are into sports, that I think especially with the exercise culture, it has been so bro for the last how long that I think it's seemingly starting to get a little bit further away from that and more into just like exercise to be healthy. You always had a wide gap of, you have the bro guys and then you have the ladies on the treadmill type of thing. But I don't know,
That's
maybe
a club.
those,
Ladies on the treadmill.
huh?
That's a club. Ladies on the treadmill.
Yeah. But it seems like those things are melding a little bit more, and you're getting a little bit more, I don't know, just like a wide variety of people that are exercising in both realms and trying to be healthy, it seems like. Doesn't seem as bro, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Well, and even before, like, it was bro in a very specific outlet. Like, it was really, I mean, speaking of Arnold, it was a bodybuilder style of lifting. Like, there wasn't a lot of, it was that and aerobics for women. Like, I think the categories of fitness now and the camps that you can be a part of are so wide ranging.
Yeah.
That it kind of can meet everyone. There's something for everyone that you could be interested in, whether what is the most beneficial. There's definitely a debate with that, but what you're going to enjoy, there's plenty of stuff.
Well, and we talk about kids a lot because I think we're around them a lot, and that's our experience right now is training kids and being around kids. But there's just not that type of availability for them. Though, like the weight training, the resistance training stuff for them. There's so many outlets as far as like sports and, you know, extra activities of dance or whatever it might be outside of outside of school sports and stuff. But the weight training thing just really isn't there. And part of it is probably because of that myth of it'll stunt their growth type of thing. But I don't know. That's what's cool about training these kids now is people don't seem to be as worried about that maybe. Granted, I don't have them like under barbells and doing that sort of stuff right now, but there just doesn't seem to be the worry about the stunting the growth and this and that. And then, how many kids are like, there's a girl that I, train at dance that she goes to a different place and is doing like a whole powerlifting thing.
Oh, wow.
That it's like, that really wasn't happening. I mean, granted, it's one girl, but it wasn't happening that much, if at all, when we were in school. And also just like the availability for that to be there. You know?
A girl too.
Yeah. To where I think like the more that stuff becomes available, I think would be cool, because it's just another outlet for kids to be able to get into that stuff. And really, like, realistically, this is the type of stuff you're going to be doing when you get older. Mm-hmm. It's not you're going to be playing football. It's not going to be you're playing basketball or doing dance.
Yeah.
Like, your exercise is going to be this type of stuff.
Yeah.
So the more that you get used to this and you get those like movements kind of drilled into your body, if you ever need to come back to it or when you come back to it, you're already going to have some concept of like, oh, I know how to squat. I know how to lunge. I know how to...
And your body's going to remember it.
Yeah.
More than anything too.
Yeah.
Like your period of figuring it out and your body seeing the benefits of it will probably be shorter and shorter as well. I feel like the only thing that's really available for kids under that same umbrella is with the idea of it being for sports. So it's like solely for athletic training. But it's like, at least with these boys, it's like, no, they just like want to know how to lift. Like they want to know what are the basics or what would be more of the bodybuilder style approach to it. Like they just want a classic boy. Like they want to have big muscles to show. And
and they have stuff at home that it's
strong.
Like, if they're able to learn how to use this stuff, they can then do it at home.
Yeah.
To where how many people have a set of dumbbells at home? Their parents got a set of dumbbells, or the parents got a barbell and a rack or something, and it's not being used. And then, you have these kids that are now thinking muscles are cool and they want to do something, but they don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
To where how many people, I feel like that's their story. Like they waste a decade of time just trying to figure it out.
Oh, yeah. So many.
It's like, no, start with the correct information. And I think there's so much out there now that they can figure out a lot of it on their own, but to be able to work with someone and ask the questions, whether how silly they are, and like they're starting from a very young age with a clearer direction.
Yeah.
That's like, oh, let's see you when you're in high school. And then after that, it's like...
Well, and I think the thing we talk about all the time of building the behavior and the habit, it's like I think that's the most important part of it, is they're getting exposed to it young and hopefully getting it into their routine. And even if it comes and goes a little bit as they're growing up, it's still like they're getting the behavior of exercise and that being a part of their life, that hopefully it's not as big of a struggle when they are out on their own and not being forced to go to football practice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, okay, I have to do this on my own. I've been working out since I was 8 years old. So
yeah.
This isn't any big new thing that I have to do. It's just regular.
Yeah. And it's cool. I don't know. Maybe that's just like me being cheesy and dorky. But like, after seeing them like in their session with you, I didn't connect to how long it's been since I've seen a kid be passionate about something.
Oh.
And like actually interested, and not just for the sake of, well, I want to like be good in this next 30-minute class, but like beyond that, I don't really care. Or like, I don't really care about the every little ounce of this thing. Mm-hmm. That's what intrigued me to working out when I started. Was it was so particular, like dance was, where there was so much detail that you could be paying attention to, that it's cool seeing even an 8-year-old be that interested in the details.
Yeah.
It's like, because I work with these kids and they are not like that with a lot of things. So it's cool. It's cool to see kids care about something, I guess.
Yeah.
That's just few and far between nowadays, I think. And like care.
The only thing they care about is their phone.
Yeah. Or like the reasons that they care seems shady and weird. It's like, True. Oh, you just like you're interested because you like this, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's cool to me. For someone that loves working with kids and being around that, it's cool to see it being genuine and happening still. Kids aren't broken.
There was a thing that I saw on that Science Daily website. It was an article that I read about how they were able to link some things of comparing lifestyle to genetic based on like how long you're going to live, basically, and your quality of life. And that what they had found was that your lifestyle has more of an impact than your genetics do on how you live and how long you're going to live, which I was very happy to find out. The genetic thing is used as such an excuse to me. The way I see it, or the way I hear it all the time, is it's just such an excuse for people that when it's that type of stuff, I'm glad that ends up being the truth of it's what you're doing in your lifestyle, and it's not just your genetics. Because people blame stuff on their genetics all the time, and I don't know. To me, I always go like, oh, well, you haven't done enough. You haven't tried enough. You haven't been doing this thing long enough. You haven't experimented with enough things. They just want to chalk everything up to genetics of, well, my genetics don't allow me to do that. My genetics don't do this. My genetics that. I'm only going to live till this age because of my genetics. It's like, well, according to this, that's not the case. It is your lifestyle. It's how you're eating, how you're exercising, your sleep, your social interactions, your relationships, all that kind of stuff. Like, it's the stuff that we think we know, but then for some reason there's these people that still want to push the genetic thing, and I just don't. It just seems like a cop-out to me whenever people use the genetic thing.
I think genetics played the base role, but then you're the one that's manipulating that. Like, you maybe could be predisposed to some things because it's been built through generations in your genetics, but it doesn't take that long for your lifestyle to change it. Like I was just listening to a podcast where they were talking, it was a doctor that's like his whole thing is based off of aging and aging well, but also he works with mostly cancer patients with reversing their cancer through their diet, through fasting, through their lifestyle, but like mostly through their diet. And he's from Italy. So they're like, okay, well, what is the difference between why does everyone live to be over 100 years old in some of these areas in Europe, especially in Italy? And then over here, we're like, cancer's through the roof and whatever. Because where he was at, he was saying that it was the second as far as longest living and cancers being low. Japan is first, and it's still first. But then in the last just few years, Italy has gone down to like 6th or 7th because they've allowed more westernization into the country, and they're allowing fast food into the area. They're not living as much. They're allowing more electronics into the area and like companies that are producing those things, that the more that the US is bridging over into the other countries, cancer rates are going up and death rates are going lower, or like the age is lowering.
I was gonna say that's what's happened in the US is the expected age went down.
Yeah. And it's like, and that's something that for centuries they've lived that way. And it's only taken a few years for that to change it.
Yeah.
So it's like something that is deep genetically through almost everyone that lives there. It doesn't take that long to manipulate that.
Yeah.
And it's like what I was saying with I was listening to another podcast where they were talking to, and I know I should have screenshotted it. I don't know her combo title because like she's a child psychologist, but then she is also in the medical field of it and another thing, but talking about how postpartum depression in women is going up through the roof, and that it's not just, okay, well, as women, people are being more truthful about how parenting sucks and how it's hard and how the hormone shift is so dramatic. And she's saying that over the last 20 years, like that isn't, the hormone shift that we're seeing is not how our biology is supposed to be behaving. So that when we start to introduce these weird lifestyle choices, lack of activity, more weird prenatals that we're not looking into, that it is affecting our hormones, which is causing you to feel depressed. The hormones that are supposed to release, that's supposed to almost trick your mind when you have the baby of, yeah, you're tired, but like your brain doesn't allow you to see it, or like the stress and the fear and the having the new everything. It's almost like your brain is doing tricks on you so that you don't think about that. It should be doing the tricks on you based off of the hormones that it's supposed to be releasing, to where over the last 2 decades or so, because women are less with their babies in the beginning, then that is setting up a weird development for that baby. So then when they go to be a parent, they didn't have those brain connections connected. So then when they have a baby, then it's all weird. It's like, and that only happens within a couple generations of now we're having postpartum go through the roof. And it is true. Like the women are actually feeling those things. Their chemical makeup will show them that, yeah, you're probably feeling symptoms of depression, that it's real, but that is not normal. That isn't women weren't lying before. They just were physically not feeling that. And it's like, that didn't take that long.
Right.
Something that is so deep in our biology as females. And it's like, we're not even feeling that.
Well, and that's this whole generation of things are different than they used to be. So now we just move the goalposts to make this the new normal.
Yeah.
Like postpartum depression is now normal. So
yeah.
We are not, well, now we just build the entire culture environment around that, rather than like, well, why did it change from before to this, and how do we get back to that? It's now just like, well, no, this is the new normal and this is what everybody's feeling, so we need to address this. It's like, well, wait, we just moved the goalposts. Like, it's the same thing with the whole weight thing of, well, now you're not obese until you're this, or now you're not overweight until you're now this. And it's like, well, But back then, it wasn't that. So why are we changing it? Like, what data or what science do you have to show that we should switch it? It's just like we don't want to make people feel bad. We want to make people feel normal and everything's okay. So we just now make this, hey, this is now normal. Since most people have it, it's normal. It's like, that's not a good way, not a good gauge.
But then they're able to sell you more things because of that. They're able to put you on more medications because of that.
Yeah.
If you're depressed, we can we can put you on a pill for that.
And then they can go, this is actually normal. This is what most people have.
Yeah.
It's like, well, just because most people have a thing doesn't mean that that's normal or okay. 74% of our population is overweight. Is that normal or okay? Like, I wouldn't say so. And then you see life expectancy going down. It's like, all these things are adding up to, hey, this isn't okay. And normal maybe, okay, it's normal because it's common, but it's not normal. Like, when you're talking about the hormones and all that, that is not the norm.
Right.
That is not what's supposed to be happening during that time. But we go, well, most people have it, so it must be normal. Well, most people are going to get cancer or die of this or die of that. Doesn't mean that we just go like,
chalk it up to,
yep,
no, it's just what it is.
Yep,
Chalk it to the game. Charge it to the game.
Because at some point, like, cancer wasn't as prevalent. So why has it become more prevalent now? And what are we doing to cause that? But we just go like, well, that's just normal life. Like,
right. Right.
That's not a good enough answer for me.
Right. Well, and that's what she was saying about behavioral issues as well, like ADHD and kids experiencing autism and signs of developmental, not decline potentially, but speed bumps in their development. Is almost all the research shows that is developed in the womb. Like, that's how they're going to be born. And majority of the time, boys will have it worse than females. Females might develop it, but it's also, I think we're misdiagnosing what that actually is. But it's a lot to do with, and again, putting more pressure on the mom, but like higher cortisol levels are heavily connected to ADHD symptoms. Well, when most women are pushing the boundaries with the medication that they are on, the pills that they are subscribed when they're pregnant, the standard that they are supposed to be at, and the standard is wonky and not suitable for what your body should be experiencing. Yeah, your cortisol levels are going to be through the roof. You're putting your body in a stress state that is affecting your child before it's even there.
Yeah, we've gotten to this point where as long as you give birth and the child has a heartbeat and is breathing, that is, right. You did it right. Right. To where that's not.
And I'm not even saying like women suck and they need to figure it out. I'm not saying that. It's just, I don't think the overall.
Well, they're getting fed bad information.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and that's what this lady was saying as well. Like, you need to be such a crazy advocate for yourself. And she's like, and that's what sucks is women that aren't aware or don't know enough or aren't, educated enough on this. Like, they'll say you need to take this prenatal. You have no idea what's in it. Yeah. She's like, do you know what folic acid is? And like, are you aware to be able to know like how many different names there are of that? She's like, that is the highest connection to postpartum depression. Like, if you want to go, I need someone to have depression now, you're going to start giving them folic acid, especially in women. And that's what we give in prenatals. Like, that's like a main ingredient in prenatal vitamins that we're given at the doctor. And she's like, and also like when you have the baby and how they pull the baby away and clean them up and then take them and doing whatever. She's like, that's way too much time that it's not by the mom. Like, we have studies that show like where you signal on a baby's brain, the one that gets brought to the mom right away versus the one that's taken away. There are already things that are starting to happen in the baby's brain that it's going to be different. Sure. Like, you need to have the connection with the mom as quickly as possible to start making those attachments. It's like, but they don't care. This is just another child. There's just another like kid that is on their list for the day. It's procedure. Yeah.
It's procedure.
But the procedure isn't updated with what we know and what the studies are and what the science has been delivering. Like, she's been doing tests from infants to 6-year-olds, and they're tracking the same kids. So it's like they can see the ones that are getting this treatment for the ones that are getting this treatment. It's not adding up.
Yeah. And that's the thing with the procedures is it's usually what is the most efficient way to do this and what are the things that we need to do and get that done. It's not what is the best thing to do.
Sure.
So they're in this, yeah, we're supposed
and safety
to,
and
I mean, the days of like, I don't know when this baby's going to come. It seems like it's gone. Everybody is just scheduling the birth date and this one we're going to do it, to where these hospitals are like, okay, we've got 10 kids being born today. What is the procedure we need to do? Like, there's no spontaneous anymore with that. And they just have a procedure to, here's what we do. And this is what it is. And they don't, there's no consideration from either party or all of the parties. This is why it's gotten to this point too. There's no, what is the best version of this process? And this is what we need to do.
Yeah. Well, because that's time consuming.
Yep.
That's maybe sometimes the not as clear cut safe version of it. You're also adding more risk to that.
Well, and it's as long as the baby has a heartbeat and is breathing,
They're not going to sue us.
Yeah, exactly. So they're just making sure that happens every time. And that's why it's like the most sterile environment. And yeah, they clean your baby with all this shit probably. And I don't know what, I didn't even look it up, but I just heard this like wiping goop in their eyes. I'm like, what is going on? Why do they need goop in their eyes? Like, that seems crazy.
Yeah,
and I'm
you
like,
gotta look
I
up
had
what
glasses
that
at in third grade. Is this because of this fucking goop they put in my eyes?
I didn't get the goop. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, look at your eyes.
2020.
Perfectly fine. It just, yeah, and I get it. Like, people don't. There's plenty of stuff that's like, I just don't care. I'm not gonna put my eggs in that basket. I don't care about it. I don't want to worry about that. Whatever. I've got other things I am. Totally fine. These are the things that I'm worried about. These are the things that I'm like, this doesn't seem right. This doesn't seem like, why, when my whole vision is through health, well, is this going to be healthy for me? Is this going to be healthy for these people or that person or society? And we're doing all these things. I'm like, well, this just doesn't make any sense. Why would we do these things?
Yeah.
So then, yeah, you've got me over here going like, why? Well, that seems silly. Why would you do that? And it's like, oh, why do you care? It's like, because I don't want to die at 75. That seems like a ginormous failure. When you have people in Italy or wherever, in so many parts of the world, living to 100, it's like, that's 25 years.
Right.
Like,
that's basically how long I'm alive right now.
I'm 27. It's like, that's that many more
that's
years.
my whole life.
And it's because of all these things that we're doing that is just procedure.
Yeah.
It's just how it is now. Like, we were joking about it in the grocery store the other day. The area where the eggs were was very limited. And you were like, man, wouldn't it be crazy if the whole grocery store was like that at some point? And I'm like, well, I can tell you what, all this shit would be on the shelves, and it's all the donuts and all the processed bullshit. The whole center of the grocery store would be there, but it's all the outside. And I'm like, we're already going to that. We're already, it's not even that there's a ginormous disaster. It's like, we're just allowing this to happen anyways. That produce, you don't, there's not 2 or 3 different companies of cauliflowers you can pick from. There's one. That's like, we're completely getting away from real food. It's just going to this procedure. What's the procedure? Here's an easy procedure that we can replicate over and over and over again without any variability. It's like, go fucking have a garden. See how much variability there is in your tomatoes and in your green beans and your broccoli that grows. Like, some shit grows, and some years it grows well, and some years it doesn't. And this part of the patch grew really well, but this part did not. You do that with animals too. It's the same thing. It's like, there's too much variability. So we've just gone to this procedure approach, and now there's no variability. Every single Oreo you have is the same. So, like, we've done it. It's like, I I don't think we've done it. I think that's terrible. And then it bleeds into every single market is that way. It's the procedural.
Yeah.
It's low quality, high efficiency.
Yeah, I think the idea of advocating for yourself and understanding that is so important because, again, procedural. Like, you are just another person in these categories. Like, they tell you that with money. Like, no one's going to care as much about this as you are. So even if you go to someone to handle your money, you still need to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's your money. Like, that person can walk away from it. Same thing with your health. Like, you're just another person they're seeing.
Yeah.
That
well, and
you have to be the one that walks out of there and lives with those choices and understand what's going on. That I think that accountability is scary for people.
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't want to mess up or they don't want to know the wrong thing or make the wrong choice. They'd rather someone else make the wrong choice for them. But I think you have to expect that you're the only one that's going to care about you. So you have to set what that looks like for you. And you're going to come off as super picky and weird and opinionated. But I think about like the kids thing. It's just too high of stakes.
And I think that's where we just don't have, I don't know, we've settled for a lot of stuff. And I think the kids thing is just another thing. Because that's the parents thing too. As long as they have a heartbeat and can breathe, and we can take them home and they live till I die, like everything's good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I'm sure if you asked parents that had kids with ADHD, autism, that sort of stuff, like, it is more challenging than a kid that does not have those things. And I don't know if those parents think that things could have been done differently or if they just think that was
luck of the draw
and this is just what happens. But again, it's always very odd to me when these things just all of a sudden seem to come out of nowhere. And we didn't have this as much in the past, but now all of a sudden we have it a lot now. And then it's like, okay, so what are we doing? What are the things that we are doing that are causing this? And then you have people that are like, hey, it's starting in the womb. So here's some things that we're doing that maybe are bad. And we actually have some studies from 0 to 6 showing that this is bad. And here's all this stuff. And people want to go, that's woo woo. That's like, well,
so then what is it then?
So then what is it? If everything's just woo woo to you, because it's like it's the accountability thing. You don't want to take accountability. Nobody wants to take accountability that things are bad and wrong and we did this. So we need to change it and do something about it. We fucked up somewhere.
Well, and that there's still accountability to be had that you can do something about that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so you are experiencing those symptoms. Now what? Or your kid is experiencing the symptoms. Now what? Like, you can work with that.
It's easier just to play victim though.
Right,
And people just want to play victim and go like, oh, my life is so much harder. Like, they get some sort of clout for that. And people give into it, and they do give them that. Meanwhile, the hospitals can still do the same procedures of, well, we don't make any money off of you if you're dead, so we'll keep you alive and make sure that happens. But
we also don't make money off of you if you're healthy, so let's get you sick.
Yeah.
And as early as you possibly can.
Yeah. So here's 25 shots for your kid as soon as they're born. We'll see you in a couple months for some more.
Yeah.
It's all fucking scam. Everything's a scam.
I think you got to educate yourself, which it seems like, oh, that sucks. Like, everyone has to know so much. But there are only a few pillars in life that I think you really need to focus on. Like, your body, when you sit, unless you get freaked out about stuff, maybe don't, because it could almost send me down a spiral. But like, if you think of your body, like, it is just working on its own. Like, your heart is just beating.
That'll give people anxiety.
Like, your brain is just telling everything how to function at all times. Like, you doing everything in your life versus you not being able to do it is your body working. I don't think it's much of an ask to try to figure out the bare minimum of what's going on with it.
And to me, a lot of it is common sense.
It's like your body, your money, and your relationships. If you can understand the basics of those things,
Yeah.
you're probably going to be fine.
Yeah. Well, those seem like the happiest people.
It's like, and I'm not even saying you need to like go super in depth with all of it, but just understand enough.
Well, yeah, the basics.
You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
You're going to know a lot more than most people. I mean, like, I think about the doctor stuff. Like, it's intimidating because you're going into an environment where they already obviously could know more than you. But it's your body, and you have to do your research to go in with like, this is what I want, and for this reason, because they are salesmen of the opposite, most likely. Like, they're gonna try to sell you on something else. Like, when I tried to get off birth control, the back and forth that I had with this lady, and it was just like, well, better be safe than sorry. It's like, yeah, that's why I'm doing this, because I don't believe this is the safer option.
Yeah.
Like, correct. We're on the same page.
Yeah.
The solution is different though. And then change doctor to a male doctor who has seen, and he, of course, female doctor, not really maybe in the best health. Male doctor in much better health, has been in the field for a very long time, and is like explaining to me how many females are coming in. Infertility is up, depression, like all of these problems that they are having, and the list of pills that they're on.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, if you understand why you're getting off of it, you don't want the effect of the hormone to be like, there's no positive for you to be on it. That's awesome. So now you're eliminating the one pill that you were taking to none. You're setting yourself up for the next thing that you want to do. It's like, yeah, that was a better conversation. Why did I have to, like, you don't care what happens to me. So
No.
why are you why are you trying to get me to stay on this thing?
Yeah.
It's like, because this is a product I'm still purchasing.
Yeah.
Maybe not from you, but like for the company that you are a part of.
Yeah. And she's maybe
is
been
safe.
brainwashed to think that this is
Yes.
the best.
And that's what I think it
Like,
is
they
more.
may actually believe
I
those
do
things
think they
too.
believe it. Yeah, I do think they believe it. But it's like, if I wasn't armored with all of the information that I had regarding that, that would be harder for me to
fight it.
Yeah, to stay strong with that.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, well, maybe you're right. Or like, I don't want to make this person, I don't want to fight with this person. I don't want to have any confrontation. But because I know what I know, this is what I'm going to come back with.
Yeah. And I think even if you don't have that and you just listen to this podcast and other podcasts and are like, no, that's what I want to do, then you just go in with that. It's like, this is what I'm going to do. I don't care what you have to say. I don't need to give you a reason. It's my choice. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have anything to do with like what you think or feel. I don't want to do this anymore, or I want to start doing this. So let me do it.
Yeah.
We got to go.
Okay.
Like, subscribe, hit us up on all the platforms. Thank you for everybody who listens.
Yes.
You are wonderful, amazing people.
Bye.
All right. See ya.